All right, guys, it is time to empty the truck out, get ready for the season. We got old seed that's got to come out, and we got some fall planted trees, kind of the ones that we're replacing, just a couple that didn't leaf out from Whitetail Hill, and gonna put those in. They're gonna be pear trees, so excited to bring those to you, see how they do. But we'll be heading up to the farm tomorrow, and then we're gonna have a kind of a guys weekend at night, get the bow and the rifle in the truck here, maybe a target, so that we can make sure we're all sighted in, ready to go a week and a half, and we're gonna be in the season. So I can't wait, seeing some pretty dang good movement, so fingers are crossed. Hope you guys are seeing the same. We'll get out to the farm here shortly. Ugh. Got sweatshirts and bags and miscellaneous camera and tree stand stuff and tools from the fencing or whatever else we did. We got saws and batteries, hats, kind of the gambit. So we're gonna get this out, we'll vacuum this stuff up, get that ready. And then I believe up there I have a little ozone machine. I'll run that here with the battery on in the car, and that'll get rid of a lot of the scent that we have in the truck. The thing that I find interesting with those ozone things, guys, I'll show you what one I'm talking about, is they do not say, and I've even called this company and asked about dead zone or dead downwind, asked them about, running it in the battery. I mean, you're either A, possibly just draining your battery, and you're not supposed to be in the car when you have this ozone going. Seems like a cool idea, but also not the most convenient. So I could not get a response from them. If you guys see anything, I've gone through the websites, even multiple companies, let me know, because I found that to be kind of interesting. Everyone say hi to the boys. Say hi. It's hot today, actually, surprisingly. It's like almost 80, so they're a little mellow. Truck's looking good, guys. Have some remaining probably hair to pick off a little bit. But at least we got a lot of dust particles out of there, a lot of dog hair. I'll run the ozone, and then we'll get organized with the gear and a couple totes. Maybe one day I'll go over how I kind of separate things and label them on the totes. Keeps it pretty ready to go. But after that ozone, the truck will be ready for hunting season. All right, guys, we got out to the farm. I'm gonna try and be semi-quiet. We're only a little over a week away from the season. The reason I'm out here, and I normally wouldn't be, is because we're gonna be getting some of these last trees in. You can plant in the fall or the spring. I usually like the spring. I'm not worried about this and the season starting, worried about when they're gonna ship these trees and things like that. But you also, in the spring, you get a year's worth of growth. So why not kind of take advantage of that non-hunting time and, get those in when there's good moisture. And it's just a little bit easier. You're typically not quite as busy depending on what you got going on. So maybe not ideal. I'm gearing for this spring, but if you remember, this is basically from the credit that I got from Whitetail Hill. Might be some deer around. The credit that I got, because I had just a couple trees that didn't leaf out, so I got 3 pair coming in that are with me now. So I grabbed my e-bike. I got some of the gear and the tree tubes. I'm not gonna fence them. I'm just going to get a stake in the ground, one of these green Tractor Supply stakes. I'm gonna tree tube it to protect it, and then we're going to just let it sit, and I will come back and cage it in the winter or the spring when we have more time. Man, something is loud in there. Just this little finger of woods. The other reason, guys, I'm okay with this right now is because I'm literally in the very front. My, shed and stuff's right over there, so I'm not going in. I'm done. The rye is down. If you guys have been following along, you know exactly where we're at. So I'm not being super intrusive. These are fruit trees. They're geared more towards our food plots. And this is our very first food plot in the very edge. So I'm gonna get these in, and I'm gonna pretty much hightail it out of here. Again, these are pear trees. We didn't do pear before, but I thought why not get a few just to mix it up and keep diversifying it. You can see some of these trees, they're actually coming out of the tubes right here. So that's exactly why you know, I prefer to get these in the spring when we can. It's looking pretty good. Thought I wrote on the tubes, but I can't see what this one actually is. But that's probably 4+ feet tall. And I'm gonna show you what these current ones look like. That's it. This is what we're planting. So to go from this to coming out of a tree tube is quite a bit of growth for 1 year. We'll zip tie those tree tubes. Remember, I bought those retractable zip ties, which is nice, so we can reuse them in the future. And I have some of that Bio-Crozet. They include with the, they don't include, you buy it, but for each tree you can get a little amount. So I'll dig the hole and sprinkle this kind of in the bottom where the roots will be, and I'll fill the hole in. And then just remember, guys, we want the base of the tree at the level line of dirt. You don't want the very base of the tree above the roots, below or above, you know, the soil. So you don't want to dig your hole too big either. You want to get that right kind of at level ground. I'm gonna have to break some of these weeds, I think, because my premise here was to kind of have like a row. So if they enter the plot, if it's kind of the time of year they're gonna be eating this food, they're still moving linearly with my food plot. They can go to whatever tree or you know, soft mass they're preferring at that time and still make their way kind of by my shooting lanes. And I'm gonna add another blind, maybe a hay bale blind over here, just because there is some hay in the area, and maybe put that one on a sled so I can move it a little bit different than the towers, so it keeps it a little bit versatile. But would be great for a north wind that way, which I don't have too many options without it kind of skirting the border of the property, which I don't really like. I think a lot of us kind of assume that like the wind just stays and goes in one direction, and that's not the case. You know, it's kind of always moving a little bit. So if you're sending some wind down your property line, like right on the line, most likely it's not just staying there. You're gonna get some overdraft and stuff like that. So I try and avoid that as much as possible, and that will be a great option if I can get a blind there. So let's go ahead and get these trees in the ground and get out of here. All right, guys, got the pear trees in the hole. I think those that noise is actually that giant oak and acorns and whatnot. But just very finicky because I can't wait till the season starts. So I got these pears in, got the stakes in. I'm just gonna grab the zip ties, get the tubes on here, and then we're good. We'll do the rest later. I didn't mean to get these 6-foot sticks. I wish I didn't, and I probably should have brought a drill actually. Remember, guys, you can get those little auger bits to drill in for these stakes, fence posts, or even the cuttings from the diversity pockets. You can drill in and stick them in. You don't have to worry about not being able to stick them in all the way, or if your ground's more clay, things like that, you can just drill in, stick it in, and then pack it down. So let's get these tree tubes on, and then I'm also going to maybe break a couple of these stems so that I can make sure these get some sunlight. This is like an Egyptian wheat screen, just because I didn't have time, and it was planted semi-late, but it actually didn't do too bad. It's not the tallest or the thickest, but it does give them a little bit of cover just for this front plot. So let's go. The tubes are on, starting to warm up a little bit. Don't want to sweat too much, so pretty much done for the day. I got one nearby camera. I'm gonna change the batteries out real quick and probably put up a couple for security near the camp. Nothing too crazy. And then gonna go up north for a night, see some buddies. So I'll bring you that, maybe sight in some guns, kind of get ready for opening day. And super excited. Hope you guys are wrapped up with your projects. Some of you have reached out with me for different things, so I think I've gotten back to all of you, and hopefully you're rocking and rolling. So Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Little update on the barn. Post going in for the porch. Got the roof sheathing on. And I think cement next week.